The region of space looked empty, silent, and harmless. No stars nearby, no planets, no passing ships, just a long stretch of cold darkness. Most captains avoided this place because scanners behaved strangely here. But on this day, something moved across the darkness, slow and calm. Like a shadow gliding through water, it was a human vessel, a small ship. Shaped like a narrow blade, drifting through the void with its lights dimmed. Its name was Eidolon. To any observer, it looked weak and unimportant. Maybe a scout, maybe a transport ship. Nothing dangerous, nothing special. At least, that was what the aliens believed. Far away, hidden behind clusters of floating rocks. An alien fleet waited with their engines off and weapons armed. Their ships had been sitting still for almost 7 hours. They waited like hunters, breathing quietly, watching their prey move closer and closer into their trap. They had studied the Eidolon for days. They knew it was alone. They knew it had no escort. And they believed with full confidence that one human ship could not fight against more than 40 alien warships. Their commander, a tall creature with pale silver skin named Vorok, watched his screens with cold amusement. His lips stretched into something that looked like a smile. Humans think they own these sectors, Vorok said. Let us show them how wrong they are. Around him! His officers laughed quietly. On another screen, the Eidolon kept moving through the darkness, steady and silent. It did not speed up. It did not turn away. It did not call for help. It simply floated onward, as if it did not see the trap closing around it. That calm behavior annoyed Vorok. Why is the human not reacting? One officer asked. Because he does not know we are here, Vorok replied. Humans are brave, but they are not smart. But deep inside his mind, a small doubt moved. Humans were famous for 2 things: surviving impossible situations and destroying enemies who underestimated them. Still, Vorok pushed the doubt away. He lifted his hand. Activate the jamming field. Instantly, a wave of static electricity rolled across space. The human ship's communication systems shut down. Hyperspace entry was blocked. Escape was impossible. The trap was now fully locked. Inside the Eidolon, Captain Ehrenvale sat in his chair with a calm expression. He was a middle-aged human with short dark hair and sharp eyes that never missed anything. On the surface, he looked relaxed. But under that calm face, he was reading the situation with perfect clarity. Ambush confirmed, he asked. His ship's AI responded in a soft voice. Yes, Captain. Multiple ships detected. Heat signatures masked but visible through hull vibration scans. Number: 43 hostile vessels. Yara nodded calmly as if he had expected this exact moment. Good. Bring all systems to low energy mode. Make us look weak, the AI responded. Understood. From outside, the Eidolon looked almost asleep. Its engines dimmed even further. Its shields remained down. No weapons powered to the alien fleet. It looked like a perfect victim. Vorok leaned forward in excitement. Excellent. Human ship has lowered its guard. He activated his ship's loudspeaker and sent a message across the void. Strong and aggressive. Human vessel, you are trapped. Surrender immediately. Power down your systems and prepare to be boarded. The message echoed through space. Inside the Eidolon, Captain Aaron heard it clearly, but he did not move a muscle. He simply exhaled slowly, like a man preparing for something heavy. AI, he said quietly. Run threat assessment. Threat level: extremely high. However, the AI paused. Hostile design patterns are outdated. Their tactical formation is predictable. Aaron smiled. Predictable is useful. Stood up from his chair, his voice steady and calm. Begin protocol Black Ember. A soft warning tone filled the ship. Hidden panels slid open. Deep inside the ship's core, something old and dangerous woke up. The lights flickered for a moment, then stabilized. The Eidolon was no longer a simple human vessel. It was something far more advanced. Meanwhile, the alien fleet moved into position. Ship after ship drifted out from behind asteroids, forming a tight circle around the human vessel. Plasma cannons glowed hot. Missile tubes opened. Targeting scanners locked on, the aliens believed everything was under their control. Vorak raised his arm again. First shot. Fire past the human ship. Show them we are serious. A bright blue plasma shot burst from the alien flagship and ripped through space, passing close to the Eidolon. The shockwave rocked the human ship slightly, but Aaron did not flinch. He looked at the glowing weapon charge building inside his ship. The Ember core was waking slowly, humming with power that most species believed was only a legend. The AI spoke again. "Captain, we are fully surrounded. Escape route blocked from all directions." Breen nodded. "Good. Let them think this is the end." From the outside, the Eidolon seemed helpless. It did not fire back. It did not raise shields. It did not move. Vorak laughed. "Human captain, this is your final warning. Surrender now or face destruction." Silence came from the human ship. Vorak leaned back, confident, prepared to disable their engines. They will not resist. But then, all alien scanners picked up something strange. A sudden rise of energy inside the Eidolon. A reading they had never seen before. A signal that did not match any known human weapon.
"What is that?"
An alien officer shouted. Vorak froze. No, this cannot be. Inside the Eidolon, Aaron Vale placed his hand on the control panel. "Emberlance initial charge," the AI answered, charging. The air vibrated. The ship glowed faintly from the inside. It's like a star preparing to wake. Aaron's eyes hardened. "They wanted a trap," he said softly. "Let them see how humans escape one." What followed would change the entire sector forever, because the human ship was not the prey, it was the executioner. Asterisk. The alien fleet held its position in a perfect circle. Every ship aimed directly at the Eidolon. Their engines glowed, their weapons pulsed with hot energy, and their commanders waited for the order to strike. Everything looked controlled, organized, and certain. But inside their scanners, something strange kept rising, an energy spike. So sharp and so unstable that alien systems struggled to calculate it. Vorak leaned close to the main screen. His silver eyes filled with disbelief. "Human ships do not produce this kind of energy," he growled. "What are they doing?" His officers panicked and rechecked their screens, but the answer stayed the same. Unknown human energy signature, growing, inside the Eidolon. Captain Aaron Vale stood calmly as the deck hummed beneath his feet. The ship's core glowed brighter now, sending red and gold light through the metal floor like tiny rivers of fire. "Ember core, status?" Aaron asked. The AI's voice remained gentle, energy rising. "Stability at 93%. Ember lance preparing," Aaron nodded. "Perfect." To him, this moment was not fear. It was familiar. He had trained for situations like this for most of his life. But to the aliens watching, it felt like they were staring at the beginning of their own end. The alien fleet commander barked a sharp order. "Target the human vessel's core. Destroy it before the charge is complete." Dozens of ships locked on. Their cannons whined with deadly power. Inside the Eidolon, the AI issued a soft alert. "Captain, enemy weapons charging. Time to impact. 9 seconds." Aaron did not panic. He simply spoke one sentence. "Engage phase shift." Immediately, the world around the ship changed. The hull shimmered like a heat wave. Light bent slightly around it. Shadows curved unnaturally. The Eidolon faded in brightness, still visible but blurry, hard to track. Like something slipping between real and unreal, the alien scanners screamed with errors. "Target lost. Target lost." "What do you mean lost?" Vorak shouted. "It is still there, but not fully there it is. Shifting. Humans do not have phase shift technology." Vorak roared. But he was wrong. Humans did. They simply never needed to use it. The alien fleet fired anyway. Cannons glowed, missiles roared out, plasma beams cut across the dark. The volley flew fast and deadly straight toward the human ship, but instead of striking the hull, Every shot passed through the Eidolon like it was made of smoke. No impact, no explosion, no damage, just empty space. What is this? A young alien officer whispered. Vorak's voice cracked for the first time. We attacked a human ship with experimental technology. This is a mistake. But mistakes cannot be undone in war. Inside the human vessel, the Ember Core reached full charge. The hum grew louder. The lights brightened. The air seemed to vibrate with raw power. The AI spoke quietly, almost respectfully. Emberlance ready, Captain? Aaron looked at the star map. 43 hostile ships, all locked in position. No escape. No mercy. He placed his hand on the trigger. Let us begin. The Eidolon shifted back into full reality with a sudden flash. One moment, the ship looked ghostly and fading. The next moment, it returned to solid form, blazing with red orange light. The alien fleet froze. The Ember Lance opened like a giant, glowing eye on the front of the ship, brighter than any star in that region. Red energy spiraled inside it, mixing with golden fire, forming a swirling storm that seemed alive. For the first time, even Vorak felt fear. His voice shook. Raise shields. Full power. Full, he never finished the sentence, because the Ember Lance fired. The beam wasn't just light. It was a spear of superheated energy, dense as a collapsing star, compressed to a thin line that sliced through the void. It hit the alien flagship straight in its center. There was no explosion, no fire, no debris. The ship simply turned into dustfine. Silent dust that spread out like smoke before vanishing completely. Every alien officer stared in horror as the flagship disappeared without leaving even a shadow. What kind of weapon is that? One whispered, another whispered, this is not a ship. This is a nightmare. Vorak stood frozen, unable to speak. Unable to understand how one small human vessel could erase the strongest ship in their fleet with a single shot. Meanwhile, Captain Aaron Vale stayed silent as the Ember Lance cooled and the ship hummed softly around him. Target down, the AI reported. Aaron's voice stayed steady. Prepare another charge. We are not done. The alien fleet broke into panic. Their formation fell apart. Some ships tried to retreat backward. Others tried to cloak. Some overloaded their shields, hoping to survive whatever came next. But space had rules. And in this moment, the Eidolon was rewriting those rules. Vorak finally found his voice. Retreat. Retreat now. But the order came too late because the human ship had already turned their failed ambush into the beginning of their destruction. The Ember Lance began glowing again, gathering fire, and the aliens realized a terrible truth. They had not trapped a Simone vessel. They had awakened something far worse, something built for war. Asterisk. The alien fleet was no longer a circle of proud warships. It had become a cloud of panic. Engines fired at random. Ships pushed against each other trying to escape. Commanders shouted orders that nobody followed. Every alien officer understood one thing now. They had provoked something they could not defeat. Inside the human vessel, Captain Aaron Vale watched the chaos calmly. His eyes remained focused on the tactical display as red dots blinked in confusion. AI, he said quietly. Enemy retreat patterns? Disorganized, the AI replied. Many ships moving without formation. All attempting escape, Aaron nodded. Good. Begin counter-strike pattern Volf sweep. Yes. Captain, the Eidolon moved. It did not fly. It launched forward like a shard of blazing metal, leaving trails of golden light behind it, as if the ship was dragging a piece of a star. With one burst of speed, it crossed the battlefield and appeared right behind the nearest alien cruiser. The alien commander screamed at his crew, "Turn, turn," but his voice shook with fear. He barely finished speaking before the Ember Lance fired a thin, precise beam. The cruiser sliced apart like melting ice. No explosion, no flames, just silent destruction as the ship broke into drifting. Glowing shards. The pieces floated past the Eidolon, lighting the dark with faint blue fire. Another alien ship opened fire on the human vessel, sending plasma bolts and missiles streaming toward it, but the Eidolon twisted through the attack with unreal precision, bending space around itself like it was stepping through invisible doors. The missiles missed. The plasma beams curved. Nothing touched the human ship. Aaron's voice remained calm. Target locked. Fire. Hey. The ember lance flared again. A second ship vanished. Then a third. Then a fourth. Each shot was fast, silent, and perfect. So perfect that the aliens stopped trying to fight. Many ships sent surrender signals, but their own jamming field blocked their messages. Their desperation drowned in the static they created themselves. Some alien captains begged through broken communication channels. Human vessel, please hold fire. Stop. We yield. But the jamming made their voices fade before reaching a Rin. The AI spoke, receiving fragmented signals. Request for surrender detected. Aaron paused for a moment. He felt a small shift inside his chest. Duty was heavy. War always came with a price. But he also knew this truth. Surrender could only be accepted if it reached him. And none of their voices did. Aaron whispered, "Protocol remains." The Eidolon shot forward again. On the alien flagship's ruins, the remaining ships tried to scatter. Some activated emergency warp drives, but warp drives had a weakness. They needed 3 seconds to stabilize. Before escape, the Eidolon reached them and won. The human ship spun through the battlefield with deadly beauty, like a burning arrow weaving through ink. Each time it passed a ship, a new beam flickered, and each flicker erased another enemy vessel. Inside one alien destroyer, a terrified pilot watched the human vessel dart past his window. He gasped at how small it looked. Small, but impossibly fast, wrapped in pulsing red light. It felt alive, like a creature made of fire. He whispered, "Humans. What are they?" No one answered him, because the destroyer vanished seconds later. Back in the Eidolon, the AI gave a report. Enemy fleet reduced by 80%. Remaining ships in full retreat. Aaron nodded slowly. End it cleanly. The Eidolon rose high above the battlefield. The ship's hull glowed from the heat of its own power. The ember core shone like a miniature sun trapped inside the vessel. And at the ship's front, the ember lance opened wider than before. This was not a single shot. This was the final pulse. Below, the remaining alien ships tried everything. Cloaking. Energy walls. Warp jumps. Missile clouds. Shield overcharge. Gravity distortions. All useless. RIN lifted his hand. Release. The ember lance exploded with a blast of bright red light that spread across the battlefield like a sweeping blade. It cut through space itself. It touched every ship that still carried a hostile signature, and when the light faded, silence returned. No alien ships remained. Not even debris, only drifting metal dust, floating softly like gray snow across the black sky. The AI spoke again, voice quiet. Hostile fleet eliminated. Aaron exhaled slowly. The battlefield was quiet now, only the faint glow of the ember lance cooling off inside the ship's core. All around him, space had become calm, again, empty, dark, and silent. Just like before, but the silence was different now, heavier, wiser, marked by the memory of what had happened here. Aaron walked to the front viewport and looked out at the empty void. His voice was calm again, steady as ever. "They built a trap," he said softly. "They believed humans would bow." The AI responded gently. "They underestimated the wrong species." Aaron nodded once. "Prepare the ship for jump. We are done here." The Eidolon turned away from the battlefield with quiet dignity. Its engines ignited softly, and in a flash of white-blue light, it vanished into hyperspace, leaving behind only silence and the faint echo of a truth the galaxy would never forget. When humans are cornered, they do not fall. They rise, and the stars burn.